Hey folks, welcome back to Grunty's Revenge. Here in Spiral Mountain, getting ready to unlock the final boss arena. Yeah, the game is already pretty much over. This is the final video. There's aren't that many levels, unfortunately, and yeah, it's just an overall short game, mostly due to space restrictions on the cartridge. But before we unlock the final boss, we have one more health extension to get. Good. You will probably want all the health you can get. Anyway, before we unlock it, let's check out our totals. Just for, you know, bragging rights and all that. I'm not gonna read out all these numbers, but you can tell that they're all complete. And it's awesome. Yeah. So now we can go head off, unlock the final boss. Now this game is actually pretty forgiving in terms of how many you need to unlock the final boss, how many jiggies. I don't know the percentage of 50 out of 60, but it's pretty darn forgiving. Not quite as forgiving as, say, Tooie, but Tooie's a pain in the ass, so this is still kind of easier compared to the 2 jiggy leniency in the original game. So, yeah, you can skip a whole 10 jiggies, but the way the game's laid out, you still do have to do a little bit in every level. But now, you can open that boss pad right there. And we're good to go. Let's go fight the boss. Now, you can probably assume pretty much everything about this final encounter if you've played Banjo-Kazooie games before. Especially Tooie, but really, it's kind of a tradition at this point, what they have to do for the end game. So they really can't pull any surprises, to be honest. If you haven't played any of the games and you aren't familiar with the other games, well, I won't spoil what's going to happen, but you can probably guess who we're going to fight, even if you know, don't know anything about the games. Anyway, jump up here, and restock your eggs. You'll want them. And let's go! The first phase of the battle is a 9-hit battle against the same Grunty we know and love. She's got her linear dashes, her shield, her destroying thing. Yeah, basically, you've seen her before, really. She does pull one little surprise, but even then you've still kind of already seen it. Once you get 3 hits in, she will start shooting her ice crystals at you from the boss fight in Spiller's Harbor, or whatever that place was called. And, you know, we've seen those before, but not in the top-down boss fight. Still just as easy to avoid as Clungo's potions, though, so shouldn't trip you up too much. You might get hit by surprise the first time, but not too much of an issue. And once you get the 6th hit in, she will go into a berserker mode and fire everywhere. But unfortunately, you can just hide in the corner and she can't hit you with it. That's just how it works. I say unfortunately because I don't like it when a boss can be cheesed, but at the same time, you probably want to cheese her, because it only gets harder from here. And that is phase 1 down. And here's the obligatory part of any Banjo-Kazooie game. A quiz show at the end. This was actually introduced in the first game as something kind of surprising and weird to throw you for a trip. It was used again in the second game because they kind of had to, and then you know, had to do it again. Unfortunately, it's not a very difficult quiz. Apparently, I've heard that you can be forced into doing minigames or challenges again, but I've never been forced to, so it's just been trivia. And since this is overall a shorter game, it's just easier to remember everything. Anyway, Clungo is the same Clungo we know and love, except now he can summon ghosts. He can summon either green or red ghosts. Green ghosts are defeated by fire eggs, red ghosts are defeated by ice eggs, and pulling out the eggs that you need is actually kind of annoying, because it takes time to pull out the gun, it takes time to transition to the correct egg, so in that time, the ghosts can probably get you. But other than that, he doesn't have the ice physics, he doesn't have the annoying blob creatures. He's overall, I think, easier than his previous incarnation. And up we go for another round of trivia. So for these trivia things, you only need to get a majority of these questions right. You can see a bar down there. As long as you get a majority of however many there are, you win and you can move on. And maybe it's just because I've played most of this game very recently, but I remember this very, very well. These quizzes are not hard. In the original games, there were some kind of actually silly and kind of bullshit but funny at the same time questions, like you'd be quizzed on trivia about Grunty's personal life in the original, or Grunty would ask you what number she's thinking of in Banjo-Tooie. Here, it's just kind of played straight, like they have to. Speaking of they have to, final climactic showdown on the top of her tower, because that's where the last two took place. Also, we need a skull because it's not ominous enough. Anyway, she plays very similar to how she did before, except it's a smaller arena, and you need to hit her ghost when it comes out. Otherwise, you won't actually deal damage. Unfortunately, you can only hit the ghost once per exorcism, I guess. Even if you hit him again, it won't do anything. This is a tricky attack. Rapid fire slamming, but keep rolling and you should be out of the way. And look, I even managed to freeze myself for a second, and she still didn't catch me, so I don't know, if you're inexperienced or something, then this can be tricky. Her attacks do deal a lot of damage, I just think they're very kind of easy patterns. You'll probably lose the most health on Clungo's ghosts, to be honest. Yep, just keep rolling, change direction each time, and she can't hit you. And, again, you can just hide in the corner, as much of a corner there is in the circle, to avoid this attack. Just hang out on the side, and she won't hurt you. I'm almost inclined to go into the fray and try to dodge the attacks, but there's no reason to. Anyway, here's something actually kind of tricky, is a homing shot. It moves just as quickly as you do, so you have to be constantly in motion. Don't stop, don't make a rapid change of direction. And it follows you for a little while, so you don't want to get like pinned up against a corner by her strange movements. And I think it does actually a lot of damage, but I never got hit by it, so... Anyway, once she has 3 hits left, she will separate into her ghostly form. And, as usual, the ghost with a shadow under it is the real one. And that takes care of the Grunty fight. I can't say that it wasn't climactic or difficult, but it definitely did not kill me at all, ever. not the hardest boss fight in the game. What was in that window? It would make a sploosh noise. Except we do, because this is a prequel. Anyway, she somehow goes back forward in time, back into her body. I don't know how that happened. And this is the part of the game where they try to tie it into the sequel. Except this game takes place 2 months after the original. So anything they try to tie into the sequel means that there was a good year and 10 months where nothing was happening. Anyway, let's do the time warp again and get back to the future. And welcome back. Hello, Jinjos. And now they can go set up a village and a kingdom and all that. Now there is actually an alternate ending if you don't get 100% items, where they're like a bunch of Banjo clones and there's a space-time paradox and something, I don't know. It's honestly better than this ending. And poker, because Banjo-Tooie started with the poker game a year and 10 months from now. I don't want to hear about that. And when you beat the game will judge you, and I'm pretty sure it's just jealous of my math skills, and that's why I didn't get a perfect score. And it's credits time. Normally I wouldn't speak over the credits, but it's an interactive minigame. You can collect these gold coins, and if you'll recall in Spiller's Harbor, there was that little game machine where you can spend these coins and replay minigames from throughout the game. Which would be neat if the minigames didn't suck. Anyway, there are like 160 coins on here. Pretty sure it's impossible to get all of them in one go. But, yeah, the most expensive minigame costs 150, or 160 rather. So, you can beat the final boss again in order to view the credits again and grab more coins if you so desire, which you won't. You really won't want to. Just trust me on this. And, yeah, this demonstrates the differences between the spikes and the tar quite well. Tar cancels all vertical momentum as well as horizontal, whereas the spikes only cause you to cancel your horizontal momentum, so you will often miss coins, whereas tar can be used to redirect yourself. Anyway, if you're a nerd, you can watch these credits and look for joke names that were in here. I'm pretty sure that there are a couple innuendo here. I don't remember any of them off the top of my head. And yeah, I enjoy interactive credit sequences when they're done right. Sonic Colors had a really awful one, but this is pretty good. It's definitely a reason to keep playing through the credits. Why is it purple, though? That's one thing I don't understand. I mean, what am I viewing here? What am I looking at? This doesn't make any sense. Congratulations! You watched me play through a game. I honestly think this is a pretty good game. It's just hampered by technological limitations. And that takes care of that, so I will see you guys next time for Banjo-Tooie.